Thank you for choosing the Weather Channel to get your day started from coast to coast. I'm Dr. Greg Postel with meteorologist Jen Carfagno and the legend,
There you go.
Reynolds Wolf. I'm here among greatness today.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, you two are great. I'm an interloper.
It's us sitting
there you go.
in greatness.
Yep.
You all are going to be sitting in a lot of sweat, actually. We got a lot of temperatures that are soaring coming through the eastern half of the country like we haven't seen yet between the heat and the humidity.
You know, there's times when seasons are kind of subtle, like somehow like fall just kind of tiptoes in.
Right.
This is summer throwing open the door and I mean just rushing in like a bull. I mean, big horns. Boom.
It feels like we haven't had, some parts of the country haven't had really summer yet. It's coming.
Just it hasn't lasted. You know, even if you had a day or here that was hot and humid, now it's going to last. So we got to talk through all of this getting into the weekend and next week. But first, we have storms to get through.
Yeah, we really do. I mean, storms are...
the Weather Channel, of course, to get your day started from coast to coast. I'm Dr. Greg Postel with Jen Carfagno and Reynolds Wolf.
Yeah, get ready to sweat it out. We've got the feels like temperatures that will be soaring past the century mark in the coming days through the weekend into next week. A full-blown heat wave is on the way.
Yeah, nothing subtle about it. I mean, just a blowtorch, really.
And I've seen some of the longer range guidance. It sticks around for a while. I mean, there's not really any evidence that ridge is going to get cracked. I mean, little wiggles here and there. Good MCC weather. We'll talk about that. On the top side of those ridges, you can get those nighttime thunderstorm groups that are very, very nasty.
They can be really big wind producers. Yes. Yeah, that is kind of the pattern we get into. Lots to talk about. We even have thunderstorms, though, today, which could be wind and even tornado producers. A couple warnings that we got to get through. I mean, Greg, you remember on Monday, there was an MCV that moved into Minnesota, and there was, what, a dozen tornadoes up there? So these things are, unfortunately, very good at producing severe weather. We're going to watch for that risk today. We're going to watch for the risk of strong damaging winds, too. That was sort of already there in the atmosphere without the MCV in place. We also have heavy rain potential, which could lead to the risk of some flash flooding, especially in areas up to the north, like maybe including Chicago and Detroit, and then a little further south as well. Indianapolis, here is a look at your forecast radar just to time things out. It's soon that thunderstorms are going to be moving in, and we'll be watching for all modes of severe weather. This is about 2 or 3 o'clock. We start to get a few showers. The nasty stuff might wait until about 4 or 5 o'clock, but either way, we've got multiple chances of getting into thunderstorms out here that will bring the risk of severe weather, and it's not until later tonight that things really do improve. Then we get to Chicago, where thunderstorms are really not that far away. You can see them down towards Northville and Ottawa. They're right along Interstate 80. So rain tracking up. We'll get some showers. Not all of it will be severe. You won't even get a warned storm on all of them, but you will be looking at the risk out there. And honestly, any of these will have some potential as we watch the energy in the atmosphere help to drive that risk. This is through the afternoon, the evening. We keep the storms around. And then even beyond that, so even after about 8, 9 o'clock, as we see this pull out, there's still some showers left behind as the whole upper level energy comes on through. Right now, let's go over to Paducah and Evansville, so southern Indiana into western Kentucky. Let's take a look at your timing as well. We are not far from thunderstorms. Obviously, we're dealing with storms here over towards the Bowling Green area to start right now, but we're going to be looking for more to come in through the afternoon. Next couple of hours, skies start to look a little bit more bubbly with those clouds, and then that will lead to the risk of storms that could go severe. Paducah up towards Owensboro, Russellville, Bowling Green, right through the afternoon and evening. Multiple chances of storms coming through with the risk of all modes of severe weather. So tough evening. This may last even into the overnight. The chance of storms certainly not going away quickly. Now let's go over into Detroit, where we've had thunderstorms already, lightning out there. Look at Ann Arbor. Thunderstorms are bearing down on you. Some of these will be really heavy rain producers. And, just watching the radar, whenever you start to see some of these reds show up on the radar, this is a forecast, but on the actual radar, that really indicates some bigger rainfall rate. And, Reynolds, that's been driving a lot of our flooding concerns lately.
Yeah, sure has. That's for sure. And that's a feature, Jen, that we've seen in the Mountaineer states.
For pets and for people. I mean, heat exhaustion is no joke, and we're about to get hot really quickly, which is a bigger risk because you've had no time to acclimate.
Yeah, it is. We're going from one season and just charging right into the other. I mean, summer in full force, and it really does get underway from now through tomorrow. These are your heat advisories across the Northeast, highly populated areas.
Yes, and so this is through tomorrow. This is just the beginning. This has actually barely begun yet,
just
honestly. We don't really get into our heat until we get to Friday, and then it lasts into next week.
Yeah, in terms of what to expect, it's going to be the first big salvo for the weekend in terms of summer in full force. Humidity is not going to help matters at all.
Yeah, so the heat index, you'll be following that. That'll be more important than the actual temperature. We've had this big ridge in the west. It's been hot in Vegas. It's been hot in Phoenix. It's even hotter right now, but it's shifting. And so now we see Denver getting to 100 degrees. We're going to be looking at across the high plains. Even if it's not 100, it'll feel like it.
Yeah, remember all that rain-cooled air you had in so many of these places? Yeah, you're basically turning that on its head. The heat and humidity, the heat indices, I mean, just unbearable for places like Wichita and into Oklahoma City.
Yeah, Omaha. I'm thinking back to the blizzard that I was covering for you back in, I don't know if it was March. It was March, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nope, complete opposite.
What was the coldest you had then? What do you think?
It wasn't a terribly cold storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, what a difference you're going to experience. Right. And that's really the beginning because all that migrates from the plains into the eastern seaboard.
Yeah, so big ridge coming in here. This will be our biggest ridge of the year across the east. The southeast will feel it. The mid-Atlantic will feel it. The northeast will feel it and see it in the heat index rising up above 100. Big
time sizzle. New Orleans 102 by Jackson Square on your Saturday. Denver with 97 on the front range. My goodness.
Yeah.
And more of the same into your Sunday.
Yes. And again, still just the beginning because into next week we see it continuing. This is a pattern that starts to get locked in. That feels like on Monday. Now we're on day 3 of this kind of stuff.
How popular will the pools become?
Yeah, very popular.
Big time.
You're going to go early, get your mountain.
Wow. But some of the earliest findings from Perseverance proved to be otherwise. And the first rocks that the rover actually picked up were volcanic, believe it or not. And for more on the findings and what it means when it comes to past life on Mars, we want to bring in one of the scientists who authored the new study, Dr. James Ray. We really appreciate your time today. And we know that Perseverance has been able to give us so much. So just a plethora of data about Mars and has collected a lot of samples from the actual surface. But so far, no firm plans for the return to Earth. Can you talk about how you confirm the rocks and how they're picking up these samples?
Yeah, try to answer.
That's right. It's creating new questions, too, that keeps us curious and investigating. Dr. James Ray, professor at Georgia Tech's School of Earth and Atmospheric Sciences, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate the insight on your important work.
Just fascinating, no doubt.
Well, here on this planet, you can stay prepared for erupting storms and the activity.